Welcome to Tiger Talks Wrestling. This is your host, Tony, and today I am joined by my special guest, BW New York star, the Darkside.
What up, Tony?
Hey, Darkside, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure. Pleasure's all yours. Yes.
No problem. Thanks. So I want to get started. In your backyard wrestling origins.
That's a good place to get started.
What would you say where did you get started in backyard wrestling? What got you started in backyard wrestling?
Well, I remember, my first match actually was in my friend Ryan's garage. We had a gym mat we put on his garage floor, and I know it was my mom's video camera. We recorded it, and I remember we went back, we showed his family, we showed a couple other people, and I don't know, there was just something about it. We were like, yo, it was pretty cool. Like, we could do this, people seemed to enjoy it. So we did that like a few more times until this dude Mason ended up getting busted open with a garbage can. So my friend Ryan's mom was like, all right, we can't do this anymore. She threw out the gym mat, and so we were shit out of luck. I was 12 then. I should probably say that off the top. So about a year after that, we met this kid who had a trampoline, and he liked wrestling. So, we started going over to his house and wrestling and filming it. And so, a couple other people, started coming one by one. We started having a couple more people coming. It grew to about, I want to say about 12 people. We wrestled for about a year or two, and then finally, as them damn parents seem to do, his dad put the kibosh on it. He said, no more of this. This is getting too crazy. And so, we stopped wrestling. And then it was about that time, I was about 15 then. One of my other friends that I had met that we'll get into, my friend Mike, he and I started going to training down in New Jersey with it's called the IWF. And actually, what's his name? His real name's Fred Sampson. What the fuck's his name? Darren Young. Student trainers there at the time.
Nice.
And a couple of the referees now in WWE too. Two of the referees. We went there. I want to say it was about 2 months, and as I said, I was 15 at the time.
Right.
So, we would be getting back around like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would have to, come home, shower, eat, I really wasn't ever doing my homework at that point in time, or ever, but I would have to do all the shit that I'd have to do, after I get back from wrestling.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it was my mom and Mike's parents that would be bringing us. So, they kind of put like an end to it. We learned, a few things from it. We took that with us. We started wrestling. We formed a league at our friend James's house on his trampoline. That was called PFW.
Okay.
There was, 4 or 5 of us, 6 of us maybe. It wasn't very big, but we wrestled the hell out of each other, and we got pretty good doing it.
Right.
And that was good until I had my own personal struggles with life. But James's, I guess his stepfather or something got rid of the trampoline and put an end to it. So, I stopped wrestling for about maybe 5 years. It was,
Yeah.
and then that's when I joined BEW.
All right. Then once you did join BEW, there was some vignettes that aired for a while before you debuted in your actual first match. Once you did debut at episode 20, you had a match against Midnight Moon. What were
Right.
your what was your thoughts on that match?
Well, my definite thoughts were I'm gonna come into this motherfucker and make an impact.
Right.
I'm gonna get noticed. I'm gonna get the eyeballs on the dark side, and I definitely know I got Midnight Moon's attention.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and I definitely know I got the owner's attention. So
Right.
he invited me onto his talk show after
Yep.
that, and I believe the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, pretty much. But do want to delve into that history a little bit there, because as you mentioned, you did go on Navon's show there after episode 20, and things kind of went a little haywire during that show. Uh,
Wait,
in a way, he felt like you disrespected him, and from there we seen the beginning of the feud between you two on BEW Wrestling.
well, I
And
mean, perspective is perspective. He feels that I disrespected him.
right,
I feel that he disrespected me. So,
yeah,
that's just how it goes sometimes.
that's true.
The two sides of a coin.
Yeah. And from that feud, we seen first it was you and Navon, but not too long into that feud is when we seen Navon kind of transition into Novin, the last emotion. From there, and the last time we seen Navon actually, and you together, he had taken you out and in a match you were in against Joseph Anthony, if I remember correctly. And
Right.
he attacked you, making it you won the match, but he attacked you, and that was pretty much the last we've seen of you two at that point before he transformed into Novin. And once we seen this full transformation into Novin, we see you come out and from behind attack Novin and make sure he knew that you weren't finished with him yet. So that's to speak.
Well, it didn't matter to me. It's still the same. It's still the same entity to me. You know what I'm saying? It don't
Right.
matter whether he spells his name forwards or backwards. He's still the same motherfucker to me. And you hit me with a guitar. I'm gonna make sure I get you back twofold. And that was
Yeah.
the first thing I could think of grabbing was a hammer.
Right.
Make a challenge into a match.
Yep.
He wanted a fight, so I took it to him.
That you did. I know the first match that you had with Novin was, let me double check my stats, make sure I'm not wrong in this, was at Halloween Hell. Was when you attacked him. And then during that night, in the main event, you lost to him in a casket match. Quite a brutal casket match.
Yes, unfortunately, that wasn't my best night. I'd like to
Right.
say that was my first mega event, so it just had to get the
But it
dust
was.
off.
Right.
It's I mean, Novin is a worthy competitor as well. I might have underestimated him a little bit. Went into it a little bit too cocky, a little bit too arrogant. Sometimes that is the dark side's problem. But
Yeah.
the dark side is filled with confidence, and even if you do take me down once, you're gonna have to kill me. I mean, he put me inside the casket, but I was
Yeah.
not dead.
Right.
I long shot.
Which was apparent in the next episode, episode 24 of BEW, because you did attack Novin as he tried to do a burial just about for your career at that point. Came out of the casket and ended up putting him in the casket and taking out Asher at the same point.
Right. Absolutely. Well, you can't do that. You can't front on the dark side. You gotta finish something. God damn it. My fucking power is getting low. I gotta plug this motherfucker in.
It's good. We can still hear you.
Like you can't come at somebody. You can't bite off more than you're gonna chew.
Right.
And I feel like that's what Novin did at that point. You put me in this coffin. You thought I was done. You thought I was finished, but You know, just like I may have underestimated him at Halloween Hell, he underestimated me that night. Hold on, let me get the fucking plug for this bitch.
Yep, you.
This motherfucker better stretch. Fuck. I'm gonna have to figure this shit out right here. Get a fucking extension cord or some shit.
Very good.
Oh, we're live, pal. We're live right now.
Live, but we're recording, so we're good.
All right, I think I got this. Hold up. Hold up. Fucking finagling shit over here. Oh. Fucking electronics, man.
Right? It can be a pain at times.
I fucking hate them. Now this shit's making this, trying to fucking take it with it.
Of course.
Man. Fucking bullshit. About to break it. Alright, I think we're good. Man.
Okay.
I'm good. You can see me. I'm crystal clear.
Not yet. I still got the icon there.
Oh, man. I hope my camera works while the fucking things... Hold up.
If not, otherwise.
Oh, man. I don't know, but... Yeah, as long as you can hear me, yes.
Yep, as long as we can hear you. If you can get it fixed, it's fine. If not, that's fine too. But after that night, when you put Novin into that casket, we kind of seen he revealed some new members of the Ministry of Destruction from that onset. So I guess he thought strength in numbers against you from there.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what he felt he had to do, you know, at that point.
Right. Well, the first person he revealed as part of the Ministry happened to be a face from your past in JJ the Pitbull Cordero.
Absolutely. You know, well, as I said, you know, that was the James in which I spoke of that, you know, we had the trampoline at PFW. So, yeah, very familiar with JJ the Pitbull Cordero. You know, and I don't know where the hell Novin found him at, where he drug him out of, but, you know, I guess, you know, that was an effective tactic.
Right.
You know, JJ's been waiting for years to get his revenge on me.
Yeah. Which he's gotten a couple shots in against, not too many since then, but we would see after an episode 25 at the end of it where he was revealed as part of the Ministry, he would go on to defeat the Rising Star champion, actually, Johnny Reed, the next time we would see you on episode 26.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a hell of a match, too. I'll give it to Johnny Reed.
Yeah, it was an outstanding performance by both you guys in that match. Johnny Reed, he's part of the faction.
The Top Guns.
Top Guns, yep.
Top Bitches.
Whichever way you want to put it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of their tactics, but Johnny Reed is an incredible performer. I'll give him that much.
Absolutely. You know, yeah, you hit the hammer, the nail on the head with the hammer. You know, the Top Guns, you know, their tactics are full of shit, but I will give it to each one of them. You know, they are all a hell of performers.
That they are.
Johnny Reed, David Llewell, and Jordan bitch-ass Oliver. You know, they all are the shit, you know. They put it on in that ring, you know, and they are the future for sure.
Right. And we'll get into Jordan Oliver a little bit later on here in the show. Since
please don't. Please don't. No.
Well, we kind of have to with what transpired when one of the last times we seen you on TV, on camera.
Okay, all right.
So we will a little bit. Not a whole lot. But from there, we would see Novin kind of put you to the test as he wanted you to have a match against each member of the ministry leading into you guys' 3 Stages of Hell match. Episode 27, we saw you went one-on-one with Ragul in a pretty one-sided match, in my opinion.
Well, what else would you expect with that? I mean, I don't even know what to say, really.
Right. Well, Ragul did end up getting the win with help from the ministry, of course. So.
Well, yeah, strong emphasis on with help from the ministry. That was pretty much 4-on-1, and I whooped Ragul's ass, all throughout the slaughterhouse.
That's true.
And you haven't seen much from Ragul after that.
I would agree. You haven't seen that whole much from him since then. Of course, Ragul was Rob Killer at one point before that, before he became Ragul in the ministry. Which he hasn't really done a whole lot even beforehand, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there, really, in this story.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really, let's move on.
Yeah. From there, we would see you actually, not surprisingly, defeat Ashter in a tables match where at the end of it looked like it was going to be the flying squirrel to take him out through the table, but the table just would not break.
Yeah. That damn table, I don't know what the hell it was made of, but damn oak tables, I don't know where the hell they get them from here in BEW, but that thing was hard as concrete. And, first I went for the Twisted Mind. That didn't do it.
Right.
Then, I went for the Squirrel. Squirrel didn't break. And so then I just powerbombed his bitch ass through it. That was the only thing I could think of.
Right. And that looked like it hurt quite a bit for him going through the table with that powerbomb.
His head actually hit the metal part of the ring.
That would definitely.
It hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And I was happy with it. I was happy with the results.
Right.
Fucking sick bastard.
Right.
He touches kids,
Oh, that's terrible. But yes, we have seen he did kidnap Navan's sister, so.
Yeah.
From there, we actually would see what looked like it could have possibly been a handicap match with you against Ragul and Pitbull, but Joseph Anthony, of all people, actually came out to team up with you in that tag team match.
Yeah, I'm not exactly, the team type.
Right.
But, Joseph Anthony, I accepted his help. He's definitely a good talent. So,
he is.
We teamed up. We got the W in that one. And, we kept it moving.
All right. You guys got the win in that one, too, so looked pretty impressive.
Yeah, Joseph Anthony, man. He's good talent as well, for sure.
Yeah. He is, of course, currently the Money in the Bank briefcase holder in BEW, so.
Absolutely. Yeah, very very deadly with carrying around that briefcase.
Oh, yeah. We've seen him almost cash it in a couple times in BEW programming, but once he does, I have a feeling we will be seeing the last survivor as the BEW World Champion, no matter who the champion is.
Yeah, he better watch his back, that's for sure.
Okay. So then after that one, we actually did see in episode 30 where you faced off against that old foe, Pitbull, JJ Cordero, in a last man standing match.
Yeah.
You two tore the house down in that match.
Hell yeah.
I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You ended up getting the victory over Pitbull in that match, which wasn't too surprising, but still, like I said, you guys tore the house down and tore into each other throughout.
It was by the tip of my toes, man.
Yes.
Literally by my toes. I got past the Pitbull. And definitely a worthy competitor. I hate him. I hate his guts.
Right.
But I have grown up with him. We battled each other, and I do respect him. I can say that.
Right. And from after that amazing last man standing match, the next time we'd see you on BEW television was episode 31, we see Ashton coming out of an urgent care, and as he's walking towards your vehicle, you attack him from behind, tape up, tape him up, and throw him into the trunk of your car. It took
Who
him.
did that?
You did that.
I didn't do that.
I believe it was you who did that to Ashton.
Nah, that wasn't me.
It sure looked like you.
That was somebody else.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't you who left him tied up to a tree in the woods either. Okay,
I don't know what you're talking about.
gotcha. It did pretty much keep him, Ashton, out of the fold when it came to you and Navon actually meeting up in that 3 stages of hell match at Day of Destruction 2.
Yeah, if you could tell, in that match, Asher was depleted. He hadn't eaten in, I think it was 2 weeks at that point in time.
Gotcha.
So, he had been raped by wolves. Apparently, I don't know. That's what I've heard.
So you had heard.
Yeah.
You guys put on an amazing 3 stages of hell match there as well. He obviously had Ragul and the Pitbull with him at ringside, but in that, I don't mean to skip the first 2 falls, but in that third and final fall, it took a Last Rites tombstone onto light tubes for Navon to actually get the victory over you.
Yeah, and that's the only thing it could have been. It could have been, at that point in time. We were both trying to kill each other. Somehow he sat up of a twisted mind onto a fan.
Yeah.
This man Novin is otherworldly.
Right.
But I will not stop. Until I defeat him.
Right.
Like I said before, you're gonna have to kill me in order to stop me. Literally, You're gonna have to stop my life.
Right. And from there, actually, the next time we'd see you was a little bit of a surprise during episode 32. Novin had pretty much taken over control of BEW programming and put out an open challenge match pretty much to determine the next #1 contender for the BEW World title, where a certain Freddie Flamingo won the Battle Royal, or Open Challenge, whatever you want to call it, only to be revealed that it was you under the mask.
Absolutely. By whatever means necessary, this man has tried to fire me a couple times, and,
Yep.
You're not going to get rid of me that easily,
Right.
especially if you fire unjustly on some bullshit,
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he pretty much did fire you earlier on in that episode, supposedly, too, so.
Yeah, he's fired me twice. He's tried to fire me twice already.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous. But, he likes to throw his power around. He's got an ego, so I'll play the game.
So that's where I wanted to get into Jordan Oliver a little bit, is you're scheduled now to face Jordan Oliver, as long as he's still the BEW World Champion, which I'm sure he will be at Backyard Rumble, I believe is the name of the event.
Yep, Backyard Rumble 2.
Yep. Now, what Novin says that he's not done with you pretty much, and that you'll win that title over his dead body.
Well, I have no problem with that. I will win that title, while I'm standing over his dead body, and that would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'd love that shit.
Right.
That would make that's the type of things I dream about. But, right now it's me against Jordan Oliver, and, he's in trouble, I'm telling you. He thinks he's the young shooter, he thinks he's the, this champion, this untouchable champion, when he's really only defended the belt 1 time. I can't really even.
Sure.
Yeah, there's only been 1 real challenge, and that's been Cameron Jackson.
Well, Shadow Grim did give him a fight run for his money as well, but.
Well, yeah, Shadow Grim gave him a hell of a fight, but
Yeah.
We're talking a mega event type of a match here.
Right.
This guy Jordan Oliver, he has a lot of shit to talk, a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
has traveled the Indies. He's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot in his short time. But you know,
Right. He's
uh,
definitely one that loves to run his mouth. That's for sure.
yeah, he runs his mouth. He writes checks his small ass can't cash.
Right. Yeah. I look forward to seeing that match. I wouldn't be too surprised to see you walk out with the title, but in a way, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jordan somehow squirm his way into retaining it somehow as well, though. So, yeah, I
Well, he's
mean,
done it. He's done it before, so
right,
I'll forgive you for making that mistake. But don't be mistaken that the Dark Side is going to walk out of Backyard Rumble 2 as the BEW Heavyweight Champion.
right. Wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, you got to keep your head on a swivel pretty much in that match because you know the top guns aren't going to be too far away, and I'm sure Novin won't be either. So,
Well, we'll see how it plays out. But I'm ready to take on all challenges. It don't matter. I've had to do
yeah,
it before. What's the worst that could happen?
right. Now I do know you've had read and heard that you've had some injuries throughout your career. What all injuries have you had, and are they any factors into what's going to happen in the future for you?
Well, let me make sure I try not to forget. So I'll start at the beginning. Back like pretty much, I think it was like 14. I uh busted up my tailbone pretty bad trying to do a swanton bomb onto
Ooh,
the ground, and just landed all on my uh well from the let's probably I was from the roof.
right.
So from a second story roof, I did a swanton bomb onto the ground and like landed all completely on my tailbone, and immediately I knew that something was wrong. And like for the next I mean it still kind of gives me trouble, but not as much. Like my left leg will click sometimes.
Gotcha.
um but aside from that, like I had a problem like just sitting for a long time, but it's all
Yeah.
right now. So that was the first like big injury.
Gotcha.
um and then so I've chipped like a few teeth, mostly due to Jordan Oliver. um but not like half of them, but yeah, like every now and then you'll chip a tooth or
right.
something like that, and it happens.
Yep.
um I've bruised ribs against my, that was the Halloween Hell match. I
Mm-hmm.
bruised a couple ribs in that match. um the I've gotten a couple concussions so far, which have played quite a big factor in this year, and
Yeah.
you know kind of going forward too. My decision on if I'll be able to keep doing this or not, and what kind of
Right.
style I'll be able to keep doing stuff in, and just how hard I'll be able to go with it.
Yeah.
um but yeah, that's mostly it, and the concussions, most of all. And oh, also I herniated a couple discs in my back.
Yeah.
That was the what's it called match? Day of Destruction match. Three
The
Stages of
three
Hell.
stages of hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I could see injuries pile up a little bit. Could especially those concussions could
Well, it
shorten a
seemed like
career
every
away too.
mega event, or even the specials.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like I keep getting hurt on those matches. So
Right.
yeah, well, I'm not the type of person that likes to hold back, and I
Yeah.
definitely want to put on a good show and give people something that they enjoy. So it's hard for me to kind of get in there and then like uh, try to avoid doing certain things.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I want to get back into BEW a little bit here. We haven't really seen you face off with a whole lot of guys there over the last year or so that you've been in there, other than Navan slash Novid, the dark side, the dark, yeah, Ministry of Destruction rather. and then a couple other guys. But who all there do you have your eye on that you'd like to face that you haven't had the chance to compete with yet?
Well, hold on. I'm trying to get this thing. Let me see. All right. I knew I should do. I should have done that a while ago.
Okay.
All right. You can see me again.
Yep.
Good. All right. So who would I want to face? Well, the dark side is honestly all about competition and having good matches.
Right.
That's what I really, I'm here for. Is like having good matches, good chemistry with people. Um, there is guys like, like you said, I've already faced him, Johnny Reed. I'd love to
Yeah.
have another match with Johnny Reed. And really, have a good one. David the Well, who I haven't faced yet. I want to face David the Well.
Nice.
As sick as I may seem for wanting to do this, I want to face Shadow Grim desperately. I'd love to have a crazy match with
That'd have to
Shadow
be a
Grim.
hardcore match of some sort between you two.
Oh my God! Can you imagine
I can.
a vicious death match with me and Shadow Grim? Oh man.
Talk about a moneymaker.
Let me see who else. I've never faced Cameron Jackson. I'd love to face Cameron Jackson.
You good?
Jesus Christ. There's guys like I'd love to face Ecstatic.
Yeah, it's gonna get into other companies in a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ecstatic for sure, especially because well, fuck them. That's all I gotta say. It's just fuck Ecstatic.
Okay.
Um.
Might get into that later, but okay.
Well, let's see. Who else? We'll talk about BEW for now.
Yeah. Let
Paul
me throw.
Peterson. I'd like to fight Paul Peterson.
Right. Let me throw one name out
Whatever
there.
color his hair. What's that?
Let me throw one name out there, and I want to know what you think of him. From BEW.
Okay.
Yankee the Difference Maker.
I mean, the bigger they make them, the harder they fall. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
That's all it takes is the right person to come up here, and he's made an impact in a short time, but
That he has.
I don't know that he's ever been tested like the dark side could test him.
I was gonna say he hasn't been tested too much in BEW yet, in my opinion. He's got a hardcore match, I believe, coming up against Shadow Grim at Backyard Rumble 2, but other than that, he's mostly been in squash matches in BEW.
Yeah, he's fought nobodies, I mean, I know, he fought it best in the yard, but
he main evented best in the yard.
Yeah, but how'd that end?
Yeah, not good for him.
Real test, Jack Daniels against a quality wrestler, and he took the L, So we'll see how it goes. Our paths could cross, they could not.
Yeah.
Who knows? It depends on if he gets in my way or not.
Gotcha. I know all those matches pretty much sound interesting. I'm a little shocked by the Paul Peterson comment, but he is a little underrated.
Hey man, don't sleep on Paul Peterson, man. As much as as much as I may not care about other motherfuckers, I will say that Paul Peterson, he has shown dedication, and he has shown improvement, in his time, coming here. He rides his bike sometimes 2 hours to the ring, every weekend. So,
yeah.
I'll give it to the man.
So now,
give him his due. Plus, I don't mind whooping somebody's ass.
Right.
It's just a warm body just to beat the shit out of.
Yeah. So after we've seen that last man standing match between you and Pitbull JJ Cordero, do you think things are through with you guys, or is that something that you think we'll see heat up again at some point?
I mean, just like I said with Yankee, it depends. I'm all about. I'm a very much live in the moment type of person. If you cross my path, then I choose how I want to handle it. The Pitbull is a hell of a performer.
Mm-hmm.
We always have classic matches when we get in the ring together,
Right.
and that's the thing that I enjoy. That I do this for is the type of matches that uh, I don't want to. I don't want to go in there against somebody and just have it be a one-sided victory where
Right.
I would just whoop their ass and walk all over them.
Yeah.
I want it to be a contest
A competitive
where
match.
you give me a yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing it for, man. And the Pitbull always gives me that, whether it's him getting his hand raised or me. It's always a good match, and
Right.
it seems like the people enjoy it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
man, I could definitely would get in the ring again with the Pitbull.
Something I would definitely look forward to. Just the one match seeing you guys in that last man standing match. It was very impressive. See you two work together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Now, this year we also did see you venture out of BEW and you showed up at VTW during their reunion rumble. What was that experience like for you?
It was interesting, going to another company and never really. Well, I mean, I had been BWE,
Yeah.
and been around, that, another environment of guys, travelers. So yeah, it was very interesting. You go there, all guys from all over, meeting up,
Mm-hmm.
meeting a bunch of people. So yeah, it was all right, man. I was in the Rumble match.
Yep.
Uh, I didn't exactly have the results I wanted. This candy ass ecstatic
Uh-huh.
grabbed me by my hair, powered and pulled me over the rope. Um, but I guess that's what Carol's got to do to get ahead in life.
Is that second time we've mentioned ecstatic, obviously. Is that something that we possibly will see at some point? Is you and him duking it out?
Oh, that depends on him, man. Darkside's ready for it. That depends on ecstatic. If ecstatic wants it, all he has to do is reach out and grab it, because I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere.
All right.
Ecstatic Darkside's right here, you bitch ass.
That sounds like a challenge laid out to me. See if ecstatic's willing to accept.
Anytime, any place.
Fair enough. Now, I want to move on from Reunion Rumble. Obviously, it was short time for you in the Rumble match, but we would see you next pretty much during the King of the Yard event. You weren't actually in the tournament. What was your feelings on that?
Absolutely disrespected. I mean, anybody who watched it knows that it was Navon that set up the tournament, and
Yes, you did.
obviously I was going to be blackballed from that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, so I I'm always paying attention. I'm always lurking. You may not think I'm there, but I'm there.
Right.
And it looked like Navon, he had taken advantage of this man AK-47 time after time in that tournament with his ego, his bruised ego. He's a
It's
sore
true.
loser, and this man was just fucking up the whole tournament, ruining it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looked like it was just about to be over at that point, and
Right.
so I made my mark.
That you did, and yep, came out, and you and Navon proceeded to have an unsanctioned, pretty much falls count anywheres match at that point. That took you guys all over the arena, and
Absolutely.
you both just about killed each other in that match at points. It looked like. Um, Honestly, Navon had the upper hand at quite a bit in that match, I thought, but it was you who came out with the win. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, I mean, uh, each time it's going to get deadlier and deadlier because, I mean, what are we going to have to do to keep topping it? Uh,
right,
and really put this other, either I'm going to have to kill him or he's going to have to kill me. So, whatever it's gonna take, we're gonna have to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just that's what it's gonna take, man.
Right.
Yeah. Uh, anything goes when it's a Novin or Navan McDonald, however you want to slice it, versus the
Right.
dark side. You can expect an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah, and the live crowd there seemed pretty into it and a little shocked when you first came out. Not bad shocked, a good shock there, but seemed to enjoy the match for the most part, the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I very much enjoyed the reaction. I always try to give the people, what they want to see, what I feel like they
Right.
want to see, and what I feel like, will get a good reaction from people.
Right.
Um, and that's just how, that's how I like to do things.
So I know how you feel about not being involved in it, but what did you think of the King of the Yard tournament overall? Just
Uh, I mean, I definitely think the results were, how they should have been. Cameron Jackson is definitely a hell of a wrestler, and
right.
just recognition. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit sad that I wasn't involved in the tournament itself
Right.
because I love to get my hands on some of those motherfuckers. But it is what it is. There's always next year, and you know, who knows? 2018, Darkside could be the king of the yard.
Could very well be.
Imagine a pretty head with a crown on it instead of bandana. Actually, I'll keep the bandana, but just put a crown
Just
over
put
the
the crown over
bandana.
top of it. There you go.
Oh yeah, be
Yeah.
pretty.
I know there was a few surprises during that tournament. One was you had Rick Rios win his first round match, only to not show up for his second round match, and we seen Evan Blake, who's newer to the scene, pretty much took his spot in that match against Shadowgrim in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he stepped up in a spot. I wasn't envious of it. That's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, it's kind
Took
of a
me
last minute thing, hard to do.
goddamn parking tickets or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Had some parking tickets, so he wasn't able to show up for the second round. It's like, really, dude?
Got pulled over, man. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Right? But yeah, not just that, just some of the people that actually won the matches. Some of those matches was quite surprising. Two guys that come to mind for me were guys that came from NGW, Charlie Tiger and Ellis Taylor. I haven't seen a whole lot of their stuff, but those two guys, they're pretty impressive in their matches.
Yeah, definitely. You know, both of those guys, technicians, and
Right.
a couple of those matches were two of the better ones. Dustin Reagan versus Charlie Tiger, I definitely thought was maybe one of the better matches in the tournament.
Right?
And Ellis Taylor versus Zach Daniels was
Oh, yeah.
also probably one of the better ones.
I would agree with both of those. They both showed out in those matches along with their first round matches, but take nothing away from them. They proved that they could hang pretty much with anybody in the backyard scene, in my opinion, in those matches they had during
Yeah,
King of
for
the Yard.
sure. I definitely agree.
Yeah. So after King of the Yard, we seen Best in the Yard was the next big crossover event. Do you think there'll be a point in time where we'll see the dark side at Best in the Yard?
Honestly, I don't really know, man. I mean, the question really isn't, do I feel like I deserve to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the answer is unquestionably yes.
Yes.
Um, you know, but uh, to be perfectly honest, the dark side felt like he should have been there this year, and he felt like he got slighted a little bit, and he don't care who knows it, and I also feel like I don't necessarily need to, um, would I have gone and enjoyed it, and everything been cool, and it would have been fun.
Right.
Yeah, I have fun doing my own thing. and doing the thing here in BEW, and I want to be around people who want me around and who appreciate and see my value. And I feel
Gotcha.
like I was, oversighted,
Okay.
and you know, we'll see how things roll around this time next year. Um, but I have no bad blood between anybody, but I just, I'm all about, you know, I'm all about respect, and I feel like there was a lack of respect shown, especially after having everybody up to King of the Yard and everything, and
Okay.
trying to, paint everybody in a good light. So, yeah, so that's how
Yeah.
I feel about it.
All right. Uh, is there anyone in specific that you think you would prefer to face if you did make it to Best in the Yard next year, or any couple of people that you would
Um,
like?
I mean, do we really got to say it? Ecstatic's bitch ass. We'll get back into it. I'll say it all day. Ecstatic, motherfucker. Um, the whooping's coming for you. Uh,
Right.
aside from that, Drew Hood would be a good, a worthy competitor. I feel like.
All right.
Um, you know, uh, Possibly Dustin Reagan. Although he may be uh, afraid to face me because I might get a little bit hardcore. I know he don't like that hardcore shit.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see how it goes. Darkside don't gotta be hardcore. Um,
Right.
let's see. Who else would I want to face? I don't know, man. I mean, they could all get it. You know, really, I mean, they could all get it
Yeah.
at any point in time. Step up, man. Do
Right.
what X is gonna do and take this whooping.
Gotcha. Pretty much anybody you take on. In other words.
It don't matter. Like it really don't matter, man. Like this comes across as arrogance to some people, but the dark side is very confident in his abilities. Like he's been doing this a long time, you know.
Right. So I want to get into another company pretty much that actually is recorded there in the BEW arena, being Proving Grounds. I'm sure you've probably watched the first few episodes that they've had. Have you been
Yeah.
impressed by Have you been impressed by anyone in specific that's appeared on those shows?
Well, I mean, Paul Peterson I've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
My respect for him. Victor Van Douchebag. He's all right. Um, Let
The
me see
current
who
champion
else.
there.
Yeah, he's all right. But dude, man never takes his damn belt off. He showers with the damn thing. I get it,
Oh,
you're the champ, but shit,
right?
show everybody he could. Anybody that'll listen, he's showing the damn belt to.
Yeah.
Um, who else? Yeah, there's definitely a few guys. The Hellhound,
Oh yeah.
he's a very worthy competitor. I like his style.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, definitely. I definitely agree with the proving ground concept, and
Me too.
hopefully we'll get a lot of guys, coming in that can make their mark and establish themselves through proving ground.
Now there has been 3 names that have been confirmed that will be debuting on Proving Grounds soon. I just want to touch on those 3 guys a little bit here and see what your opinions are on those 3 men, formerly of UWE, being their underground champion Ustalo, and Jason Atlas, the
Absolutely.
one named Mosh Pit, and then Revan.
Yep. Yeah, all three guys, definitely, gritty competitors. They, they're traveling. You said it. They travel,
Yep.
hours to be here. They got dedication, and, I respect anybody who, puts in effort to be here and help out and all that. You know, I saw all, they're definitely, they definitely got a bright future in proving ground, and we'll see
Right.
if they can make that up, and make a mark on the main roster, BEW roster.
Now, is that something that Proving Grounds is going to lead to? Is possibly these guys getting that chance to be on BEW programming? I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, you may see sometimes BW guys go on to Proving Ground, vice versa. You may see the Proving Ground guys get a shot on the BW roster. And yeah, we'll see, how, they fare against the big boys. And,
Right.
if they do well, they get boosted up. If guys, aren't doing so well, or if maybe they just, you know, want to give one of the younger guys a shot at a challenge. We've
Right.
seen Dustin Reagan, wrestle on one of the episodes.
Yep.
Uh,
Against Phoenix at
yeah,
the point in time he was called.
yep, yeah, against this man Phoenix, and so you see these guys, come down and give some of these guys a shot or a challenge, where you
Right.
normally wouldn't see them.
Yeah, I would say if that's the case. Then I would say Proving Ground's kind of the NXT to your WWE, so as to speak, put it pro terms wise. In a way, it's a little different, but still,
Yeah, right,
kind of the developmental territory. Put it in there.
right, yeah, absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Alright. So, what are any other upcoming matches that we might see the Darkside in? We know you've got the Backyard Rumble 2 match against Jordan Oliver. Is there anything else that we know of that we can look forward to seeing on the horizon?
Well, hmm. Like I said before, the dark side is very much a live by the moment, and, take them how they come type person. I don't really keep a schedule. I just
Right,
kind of show up and, you know, make my mark or insert myself. That's kind of, how I do things. I don't got a booking agent. I
right.
don't, I don't even got an email, man. So, that's kind of how I do things. Is I just show up and make my presence known.
Yeah, that seems about right. I know I was a little surprised when watching that VTW Reunion Rumble to see you show up there. Good surprise. But
Yeah, man. I don't even think they had my music ready. So
no,
that's
I
just
don't think
how
so.
it goes. You kind of just put it on and walk through the curtain, and you know
Right. There you
dark
do
guys
what you
here.
gotta do. Right. Alright. Now I want to get some, let's say, three dream matches from you against any backyard wrestlers that we might not have touched on. Or that we have touched on so far.
Well, definitely against Shadow Graham.
Right?
Definitely against Shadow Graham in the most violent match you could
I was gonna
possibly.
say, what match?
It's so some type of crazy, yeah. Where we just murder each other. Uh, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it a dream match, but more like a nightmare match against Ecstatic. It would be a
Yeah.
nightmare for him. Um, and who else would hmm. I guess you could say my final dream match would be against Novin again.
Again.
Novin
Gotcha.
though, because
Yeah, no,
I've
but
beat
not the one.
Von McDonald. I need to beat
True.
Novin.
Yeah, I was gonna say you haven't been able to get that victory over in Open yet, so
Yeah.
not not that many people honestly can say that they have gotten a win over Novin.
No.
Lips is about
Somebody will. It's gonna be the dark side. God damn it.
right. I was gonna say Lips is about the only person I think that's actually gotten a victory over Novin. So just
Yeah.
not many others, if anybody else has. I thought honestly that at best in the yard, Drew Hood possibly could have, but that
Yeah,
didn't
man.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, this man's taken out. There's a list of competitors he's taken out. And he's
Mm-hmm.
taken me out twice. So,
That's true.
he's definitely one of the most worthy competitors probably walking the planet right now. That's for sure.
Right. Now, you got a chance to watch Best in the Yard 3, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Yep.
Okay. So I just want to touch on that. I know you weren't there, but I just wanted to know what your feelings were on the overall event, and then I want to touch on a couple of the matches during the show.
It was a good event. Maybe a little bit too longer than I would have had it been.
Right?
Uh, it was kind of
It's a
hard.
consensus.
As I'm as I as I'm said, I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched maybe bits and pieces at certain times because there's no way I was sitting for 6 hours or however the fuck long it was
Right.
and watching that thing. So I watched it in bits and pieces over days or a week or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Um, so I saw a few of the matches. And yeah, it was a good event. But you know, definitely could have used some Darkside. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree. It's something that hopefully we'll get the chance to see happen next year. Let's
We'll
see
see.
what the
We'll see.
see what happens. I do want to touch on that Novin and Drew Hood match, though. I'm sure that one was one you did get a chance to see. What did you?
Absolutely, yeah. You got to competition.
Yeah. What did you? What was your feelings on how that match turned out? Obviously, it was originally just a one fall match, which Drew Hood actually told the referee to let things fly once Novin brought the weapons into it.
Yeah. Well, you know how Novin does. You see
Mm-hmm.
Novin. He's sadistic. He's violent. And yeah, that might have given him the edge. Um, I don't know how well versed Drew Hood is in the art of weaponry, if you want to say it like that.
Right.
Um, whereas Novin is an expert in his craft.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to use weapons. He knows how to implement things, and bring people pain. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, that definitely gave him the edge, I think, in that one.
I know leading up into it, the promo packages that were done from Drew getting help from Arnold, finding Novin's book pretty much, and reading off of that. Just those were incredible promo packages to lead up to it, in my opinion. Between
Yeah,
that,
definitely one of the better storytelling
yes,
type of lead ups to a match that I've seen.
and I gotta give props to both of them for that because originally that match wasn't supposed to take place at Best in the Yard, but they put it together pretty quick and very well, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, it's a credit to both performers for sure.
And it is. Now, there was a match that was supposed to take place that didn't take place from Novin's alter ego, so as to speak. Nevon McDonald was supposed to face Avery Hope there at Best in the Yard. How do you think that match
Yeah,
would have went down if it would have happened?
really. um,
Just curious.
uh, it would have been a shit show.
Yeah.
Um, no. I mean, Navon is I hate him, but he's a hell of a performer, hell of a competitor. So he probably
Right.
would have made the best out of it. But you know, um, that man has no business being in a goddamn wrestling ring. um, so and just being honest about it.
Right. I don't fault you for that. I understand you being honest about it. I
Yeah,
won't say much else about it, but just wondered what your thoughts was.
yeah.
Um,
You ask me, I'm gonna answer honestly, man.
right. So, the only other I could be wrong here, but if I remember correctly, there was only one other match at Best in the Yard that featured a guy from BEW, and that was the main event that we kind of touched on a little bit between Yankee and Zach Daniels.
Yeah.
What was your opinion
Uh,
on that?
yeah, that was another one with a good story leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a history between both of them.
Almost a
Uh,
year's worth.
oh yeah, um, you know, uh, yeah, it was a hell of a match. Very brutal, hard hitting.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, this man went up against one of the better technicians. Finally, an A1 wrestler. and
Right.
he met his match. Hopefully that brought his head down a little bit.
Yeah. I'd honestly would love to see a rematch between those two because those two had quite the match there at Best in the Yard. But
Yeah, yeah, you probably see it, man. I mean, I'm sure Zach, Yankee, the type of person he is, he's gonna want Zach's head on a platter after that.
I was gonna say, if you've seen the podcast I did with him, that's just about what he said too. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's one man you didn't touch on from BTW was Zach Daniels. How do you think you would fare in the ring with Zach Daniels if you had the opportunity to face him?
I definitely think that would be a good match. He's definitely a good wrestler. Uh, you know, we'll see what happens if he wants it, he could step up too.
Right?
That's all it takes, man. Just let me know. Darkside's got his boots right here.
Yeah. It's a good mentality to have towards it because if you're gonna cower away from anybody, then what are you doing in this business, pretty much?
Right? Yeah, man. I don't. Some of these guys, man. I swear to God.
Any names in specific you're thinking of there, or just don't want to touch on
Uh,
that?
I, well, this goddamn Ragul. Who else? Who else? Who else is a pussy? Just Ragul. Just Ragul.
He
Just
just
do
rubs you.
Ragul.
He just rubs you the wrong way. Gotcha.
Nah, Ragul's not bad. He's alright.
Gotcha.
He's just a kid diddler. And that is not alright.
No, that wouldn't be all right. Okay. We're heading closer to the end of the show here. I do have a little scenario that I like to put my guests into. Um, if you've ever seen the Backyard Wrestling Fix hosted by Cameron Jackson and Drew Hood, they do a Money in the Bank ladder match. Mine's a little spin off of that, but I do an Elimination Chamber match. So I'm going
Okay.
to put you in the Elimination Chamber. I want you to tell me who the 5 Backyard Wrestlers would be that you would be facing off against in that match.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Alright, so we'd have Shadow Grim.
Okay?
This is hard, man. We'd have
Yep.
Novin.
Okay?
Tycoon Mikado.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
He's a hell of a competitor. You
I see.
don't know about Mikado.
Okay.
Let's see. Ecstatic's bitch ass.
Okay.
Oh man. I'll make you wait for it. Make you wait for it.
Who's going to be the 5th man?
16. Cameron Jackson.
Popular choice. All right.
Yeah, that would probably be it.
Those 5 men. So, I might have an idea of the answer to this, but who would be the last man that would be in the ring with you that you would eliminate to win the match?
It could only go one way.
All right?
It could only go one way. Novin.
Of course.
And I'd put his head right through the grate. Right through that metal. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I'd put his head right through that goddamn metal grate with the twisted mind. From the top of the cell. I'd go up to the top of the cell and twisted mind his ass. Off the top of the cell, through the metal. And kill him.
Well,
At the end.
perhaps that's what it'll take to end the feud between you and Novin.
I'm with it. If that's what it takes, I'll do it.
Now, he does have, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but put that in, you just eliminated Novin and won the match. That gives you a chance to, let's say, main event a Best in the Yard event. You're facing a champion. Who would that person be and what championship would it be for? And they don't have to be a current champion.
Oh, man. Oh, these are all types of scenarios. I mean, against Brock Lesnar for the
Okay.
Universal title. That's who it would be against. Brock, your bitch ass can step up too, you fucking pussy.
Now, if it was a backyard event, if it was a backyard wrestler, who would it be in for?
Backyard event.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, man, any one of these guys, you know, really, I mean, if I was to be facing somebody for the title the first time, for my first title reign,
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to take it from Novin or from Navon McDonald. That's who I'd
Yeah.
want to take it from.
Poetic justice, pretty much.
I couldn't think of anything sweeter than that.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I understand that completely.
But it is looking like it's going to be against Jordan Oliver for my first title reign. That's for sure.
Right. So as I was going to mention, we do know for Novin, one of the next events that we're going to see him in, he's supposed to be going against Lips for the UWE in what I believe is going to be one of the first, if not the first ever, Buried Alive matches in backyard wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. And, yeah. I mean, Lips might take care of him. Even if Lips does bury him, I'll bury him, or I'll undig him up, and then I'll bury him again. I'll beat him up a little bit before I do.
Right.
So, it's, I mean, it's going to be a hell of a match, but, I mean, you did say that Lips was the only person to beat Novin.
Yep.
So I know that Novin's going to be coming back extra hard for this one.
Right.
Also, Lips has definitely got his,
Work cut out for him.
Yeah, he's going to have to get his big boy tutu for that one.
Right. All right. Let's see. What else do I want to go over here? I had something in mind. Oh. So we talked a little bit about AK-47 because he was down for you guys' show. Do you have an opinion on AK-47 as a competitor wise? And I'm going to lead off from that into another guy from that same company he's from.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a worthy competitor. As you saw in the King of the Yard, he got far in the
He did. He made it
tournament.
to the finals.
Yeah. He's a good competitor. I never watched much of KBW, so I wasn't, I didn't know that much about him going into it. I just know that a lot of people watch his company and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I had met him at the Rumble.
Yeah.
He seemed like a nice guy.
Right. So from that, I just wanted to go into Cage from KBW as well for a minute. I don't know if you've seen the build-up at all between him and Cameron Jackson before Best in the Yard, but he just about denounced backyard wrestling and some of that. And yeah, once they got into the ring though together, him and Cam at Best in the Yard 3, I think they put on quite a clinic. You have any
Yeah.
opinions on Cage and that match?
I mean, that was the first I really had seen of Cage. But yeah, that was a hell of a match for sure. Probably, I mean, either that or the Drew Hood and Novin match was, my favorite. Yeah, Cameron and Cage, I thought really, put on a hell of a match.
Yeah. I know I've spoke with other guests about this. I wasn't that big of a fan of the finish of it at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I understood why they would go with a double count out for the end of it, because it doesn't do any good for either one of them really to get the win. So,
Yeah.
I mean, because if it's Cam, you beat Cage, who's pretty much the biggest name in backyard wrestling. Where's he going to go from there? And Cage really doesn't need the win. He's got his whole indie career going. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a good match, man, and sometimes it's not about wins or losses. It's just about putting on a good show and something that people remember.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, are saying that was, I don't disagree with them. They're saying that was the best match on the card, and and it didn't have anything to. It did, the finish didn't affect that at all.
Right.
Because it's still a great match. So
Yeah, it was. I know a lot of people before the event even took place claimed that that match should have been main event, but to me, Zach and Yankee deserve that spot. Um,
yeah,
Zach Zach has proven over the last 2 years at Best in the Yard that he deserved a main event spot at Best in the Yard 3, in my opinion. Just the matches he had with Daisy and then with Chase Bridges last year were phenomenal.
yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, yeah, you could have gone either way with it.
Right.
But it's sometimes that don't matter either. You always want to have
Yeah.
a great main event, but sometimes that just it doesn't work out like that. Sometimes an undercard match just steals the show. There's no way around it.
Yeah. That's true. And there was quite a few matches in the undercard I think might have had quite a show stealer on there, but it's nothing unusual with Best in the Yard really. Um, let's move back into BEW for a minute though. We haven't seen a whole lot from you guys posted lately, other than the King of the Yard tournament, which obviously I'm sure was very time consuming. Uh, people, I heard from some people were wanting it to be uploaded quicker than what it was. I was included in that a little bit, but I understand there was editing and stuff that you guys had to do with it too.
Well, well, I'll address that for anybody who wants to know about the things on that end of it. Um, uh, there was an issue where I wasn't around and the footage kind of got backed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I could understand why people want to see more of it, but the truth is, a lot of the guys could be helping out editing and doing
Right.
stuff. A lot of the guys just um, they just expect it to get uploaded, and they don't understand how much time and work kind of goes into all of it all the time. And I mean, I've asked guys to kind of help out with it, and
Yeah.
it kind of falls on deaf ears. So,
Right.
um, I mean, yeah, I'm one of those people that I try to get it out as quick as possible too, but there's only so much I can do. I have a life,
Right.
where I can't always be doing it to the capacity that I really want it to be done. Um, and that I think it deserves to be shown.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of our stuff too is like a lot of the other companies, they don't uh like we have like the double angles, and
Yep.
we go over afterwards, and we don't do the live commentary like we do it in the studio here.
Right.
um just sometimes hard to guys work, so it's hard to kind of schedule
Yeah.
days off and do all that. And
Yep.
so there's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, the truth of the matter is, if there were guys helping out a little bit, even just a little bit, it would probably help things along a lot, quicker. But
Right.
uh, so we'll see how things go.
Yeah. I just felt something needed to be said about it because if it didn't, then I might have heard about it afterwards. So, um,
Well, people can fucking suck it. That's all I can say.
right. Is
If you
there
want something done, then do it yourself. Like that's
right?
all. That's all it comes down to.
Is there anything else you want to have to say about King of the Yard or aftermath of King of the Yard from any of the superstars that were involved, perhaps, or anything else?
Uh, I mean, honestly, man, the truth of the matter is, it is what it is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, I'm just looking to wrestle and move forward and have a good time, and hopefully that can happen. If it can't, then, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But, like I said, I'm perfectly happy, being in BW, doing things here, and,
Right.
and moving forward, and whipping some people's asses.
Yep. Jordan Oliver being the next one that we know of
Yeah,
in
oh yeah,
BEW.
Jordan Oliver is gonna get his skinny ass whooped. That's for sure.
From pillar to post. And probably all around the arena for that matter.
Yep, right into the cornfield.
There you go. Alright. So what does the future look like beyond that for this year for the Darkside?
I'm gonna be the BW champion and continue to be the BW champion going forward for probably. I mean, I don't know if they can measure lengths of time that the dark side is gonna be champion, but it's gonna be a long ass time.
Gotcha. And then beyond this year, what is your future looking like? Do you have any pro aspirations, or are we going to be in BEW for a couple years to come at least? Planning
Honestly,
on.
man, I mean, I don't necessarily have any pro aspirations because I don't think that I necessarily want to do this for a living.
Gotcha.
Um, and end up like Mick Foley, or end up like, one of these other guys who, they can't walk, and they're all beat up at 50.
Right.
Um, so, there's no real pro aspirations. There's always a chance I might do some indie stuff. But not, I mean, I don't have any pro aspirations. I'm looking to have some fun with it. The backyard stuff, I do the backyard stuff mostly because it gives you the most creative freedom.
Right.
Um, you can kind of, you can do whatever, man. If you want to use a fan, if you want to jump off the roof, if you want to use a damn fish, if it don't matter, you can do whatever you want,
Right.
and so that's what I enjoy about it, is that type of freedom.
Gotcha. So as we're wrapping up here, is there any last words that you have for anybody that's watching, whether that be specific wrestlers or just fans in general?
Well, ecstatic, you're a bitch. Um, Novin, I mean, I always have my hatred for Novin, so fuck him too. Or Navon McDonald, whoever the fuck he thinks he is today. Um, as far as anybody else, anybody else can fucking step up. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Um, you know, as far as the fans, I definitely enjoy, anytime I hear from fans, and somebody says like the dark side is their favorite or something like that. It always gives me a good feeling.
Right.
Obviously, that's what you do it for,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely try to, you know, I definitely try to go above and beyond in my matches, to try and entertain people. So it's always appreciated. Um, and yeah, man, I'll just continue to keep doing that, and continue to keep giving the people what they've come to expect from the dark side going forward.
Fair enough. And where can people find you on Twitter if they're not already following you?
Oh shit, I don't even know, man. Honestly, I don't really use it that much. I think it's the Dark Side 87,
I believe
but
that's correct.
I could not. I don't know. Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know. You could probably put it down in the thing after this,
I
down
will.
below. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have it there. Cause I don't really know what it is. I've been meaning to start using it more though, but I don't really use it that much.
But other than that, obviously, anytime that anybody wants to see the dark side, all they got to do is click on BEW New York's page on YouTube and look up
Absolutely.
the dark side.
Yep. That I know we got a Facebook page somewhere too.
Yep.
Um, we got a main Twitter somewhere, BW on Twitter. Um, And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I got the Darkside Wrestling too on YouTube if you want to just see Darkside, strictly Darkside matches, NPFW, and going forward, I got matches all the way back from 2003 on that channel.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
All right. Fair enough. Well, then, if you have nothing else left that you want to get out there, we will close out the show for today. I want to thank you once again for being on the show, Darkside.
Thanks for having me, motherfucker.
No problem. Thanks for joining. This has been Tiger Talks Wrestling. Have a good night, guys.